Welcome, hackers. Today we're looking into dragons and the magic that they have. We will examine how they use magic, the variant magic system, and how I would change them to be even more magical creatures. Dragons are described as innately magical creatures, but the main stat block has little or no magic without the variant spellcaster system. A standard adult dragon has frightful presence, which I attribute more as just being scared of a giant monster with huge claws and teeth, rather than a magical ability. They also get a breath weapon, and this is really the only magical ability that they have. They do have special abilities they can use in their lair, but the dragon itself isn't very magical. Wizards of the Coast has a fix for this with the variant rules that state a young or older dragon can innately cast a number of spells equal to its charisma modifier. Each spell can be cast once per day, requiring no material components, and the spell's level can be no higher than 1/3 of the dragon's challenge rating, rounded down. So let's look at an example of this. I'm going to use the Adult Blue Dragon because blues are my favorite. Adult blues have a challenge rating of 16, so they would get 5 spells that they can cast once a day each. The spell can be as high as 5th level. This could include spells like Cone of Cold or Destructive Wave. These spells do 36 and 35 damage respectively, well below the average 66 damage the dragon's breath weapon does. So spells should be selected that have other effects like Dominate Person. The problem is, even if it works, you stop one player with your action that round, and the rest of the party gets a round of attacks, possibly breaking the dragon's concentration on the spell he just cast. It's also possible that the player makes the save and the round was completely wasted. The variant rules have some problems. First is that they don't hit as hard as the dragon's normal abilities. The second, the dragon gets very few spells, and they may not even be useful in that situation. This makes dragons feel less like innately magical creatures, and more like simple, powerful beasts. To fix this issue, I've created a new system for giving dragons more spells and abilities that they can use. First, we're going to give dragons spells based on their age. Young dragons get a 1st and 2nd level spell that fits the theme of the dragon. Adult dragons get 2 spells of 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th level, and the ancient dragon gets 3 spells of 1st through 6th level. The dragons can cast these spells a number of times a day equal to their charisma bonus. Even though the spells probably won't be as good as the dragon's breath weapon, it still gives the dragon some options that grow as the dragon ages. Second, let's look at the legendary actions. Normally, adult and ancient dragons have legendary actions. They can make a perception check, a tail attack, or a wing attack. The wing attack uses 2 of the 3 legendary action points that the dragon gets each round. There isn't anything innately magical about looking around or slapping someone with the tail or wing. So let's give them some additional abilities that they can use with their legendary actions. We're already giving dragons spells based on their age category. Now the dragons can use legendary action points to cast spells as well. Costs 1 legendary action point per spell level. So this would allow the dragon to cast 3 1st level spells between rounds, or a 2nd and a 1st, or a 3rd level spell. Most spells of this level are not super powerful and shouldn't unbalance anything, versus just using their regular actions, which they still can use anyway. But this makes the dragon feel a little bit more magical than it would have otherwise. Next, we notice the dragons have no bonus actions. None. That seems like a tragic mistake, regardless of having spells or not. What if we give the dragon a special bonus action spell that they can cast? I think any cantrip would be fine for this, and maybe even a 1st level spell for an ancient dragon. Now the dragon not only has a bonus action, but it's also a more magical ability. Also, they have no special reactions other than just the basic opportunity attack. Let's give them a reaction spell based on their age category. I think Absorb Elements or Hellish Rebuke could be good ones for wormlings and young dragons, and even Counterspell for adult and ancient dragons. These spells really showcase the dragon's magical nature and their ability to control the magic around them. Finally, let's add some special effects to the dragon's basic attacks. The bite has elemental damage based on the dragon type, but we can add additional effects to the claw and tail attack as well. You can add things like a bane effect to the tail or a flash of light on the claw that has a chance to blind the player. This all adds a lot of magical abilities to the dragon. So, how much does this affect the challenge rating of the dragon? Well, we are giving the dragon bonus action and reaction. These two things alone would probably raise the challenge rating a full point. I think the additional spells and effects on the basic attacks would raise it another point. With these in mind, I would probably increase the challenge rating by 2 points. The benefits of this are that it creates a more dynamic and challenging dragon encounter for the players. It helps to make dragons feel more magical and powerful, and more accurately reflects the lore attached to dragons. It also adds a more tactical layer to dragons that will require the players to strategize in order to defeat it. I've created a stat block for an Arcane Adult Blue Dragon, but D&D Beyond wouldn't let me add it because it's too similar to the current Adult Blue Dragon. Well, duh, it's based on the Blue Dragon. Of course, I made quite a few changes, so I thought it would be enough, but apparently not. But you can take a look at it here that I've had on the screen, and please leave a comment below if you have any other ideas on how to make dragons feel more magical than they already do. And until next time, keep on hacking the dungeon.